Do you want to build something profitable and meaningful that actually works for you? To build something profitable and gain freedom for yourself is all about systems and understanding what is the life that you truly desire to live. Ricardo almost gave up. Like, he almost went back to uni and went back to finding a stable job when he was trying to figure out this whole business stuff. But luckily, he realized that there was a ladder system. This system gave him clarity and helped him simplify the journey a lot more. So he could go from starting a business to getting clients and then tap into resources and systems that allowed him to build a team and scale along the way. Now, I know you're probably wondering, who am I, who we are, what we do, how and if we can even help you. My name is Marcio and I'm on Ricardo's team. I've had the opportunity to work alongside Ricardo over the last few years now. So if you're truly interested in building something profitable for yourself, so you can finally take control of your time and finance, then just stick around and watch this cool interview Ricardo has recently had with another member of the team. In this video, we're going to talk about how Ricardo has been helping his students to set the right foundations, replace their income, and build a profitable business that is actually unique and meaningful, as opposed to doing what everybody else is doing out there and competing for the same clients. We're also going to be talking about how he has managed to help some of these students think better and change their behavior in just a matter of a few weeks and get instant results by taking actions on the right things. Like, on this video, we're going to unveil the whole curtain. We're going to walk you through the journey and show you the whole process of going from having no experience or skills or capital to start a meaningful business, replace your income, and scale so you can truly attain financial and time freedom. So come on, if you're in front of the computer, tablet, or a mobile, just grab a pen and a piece of paper, find a comfortable place, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video.
It's great to have you here. Actually, I'm really inspired by what you've created and would just love to learn more about your story.
Okay.
And I know you started in property investing, is that right?
Yeah. I started in property investing and then I went to business and now we're here.
So, what kind of made you change from the property to the business then?
I mean, good question. I mean, it happened when I was working for a multi-millionaire mentor. The guy happened to have a real estate business. He had the software business, had consult. He had a bunch of different things. The guy is like 10 to 20 years ahead of me. I dared to ask him a question. I was broke. And I was like, bro, if you were broke again, but you happen to know everything that you know now, how would you start it? To my surprise, he gave me a very specific answer that I wasn't expecting. He literally told me, if I was back there, I would just start a business, right? But I wouldn't start with real estate. And I was like, what do you mean about that? What do you mean that's what you do? And he said, well, I wouldn't start with real estate because real estate is an investment. It is not a business, And I was like, huh. What do you mean about that? And he said to me, well, real estate, it gives you money, but it's not as consistent as a business. Business, you get paid every single day, right? But when you're doing real estate, you may only get paid once, maybe twice, but it's not as consistent. And I was like, okay, but why do you need business? And then he told me recession. And I was like, okay, what about recession? And then he told me, well, recession, they always come. Most people go bankrupt because they don't have cash. And cash comes from a business. And if you don't have a cash flow business during recession, you're more likely to have to sell the assets that you have because you can't sustain them. And the reason why you cannot sustain them is simple because you don't have the money to cover the inflation, the interest that are going up. In property, interest can go up, inflation happens, life is going to happen. But if you have a cash flow business, that gives you an extra buffer for when such thing happens. And I was like, oh shit, that makes sense. So let me go and start the business then. And that's how I went and I made the decision to start a profitable business.
Wow, I never expected him to say something like that because I know you told me he started with the property, the real estate, and then he added on the businesses after. What I'm kind of curious is what happened to you when you made that decision to just go with the business first?
Look, I felt, I think I've told everyone this story so many times. I just felt completely the first business, right? I did like just everybody does, which is I asked myself the question, which was, what is the fastest way that I can make the money when it comes to business? At the time, I happened to know SMMA, copywriting, you name it, like drop shipping, e-commerce, Amazon FBA. I already knew all of those things because I was buying so many different programs at the time. As soon as he told me that, I started buying so many programs and okay, what am I going to start? I came to the conclusion that maybe SMMA was the best option because the cost was lower. I didn't have to buy a product and then sell it. I didn't have to do any of that. It was like all I needed was to find clients that were willing to pay me, right? And then I made the decision to just kind of, I did a little bit of research and I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to try to sell social media marketing as an offer to the chiropractors. Bear in mind, I don't know anything about chiropractic to the day of today. All I know is that they just break bones, and they make people feel better somehow, right? but that was that was the
Yeah.
audience that I was going to target. And I made that decision, did a little bit of research, just like everybody does. Like I went to Google and I started searching them, started checking the website, start creating looms, send it to them and say, hey, you don't have a pixel. Do you know what a pixel is? Just like every average guy when they start in SMMA, they do it. And for almost 1 year, I failed completely until the day that I kind of dared to ask them because nobody wanted my service. And I was like, okay, so tell me what you want then. Since you don't want to get more clients, what you want then? The lady on the other side, she was like, well, if you can just get more chiropractors to work with us, we are willing to pay you. And when that happened, something inside my brain exploded. It was like a party at the same time. And at the same time, a sense of, I've just wasted like almost 12 months selling the wrong service to these people. And that's when it clicked in my head. Oh shit, business is about problems. I'm solving the wrong problem, which is the reason they're not paying me. And the lady just told me that if I can just get her more chiropractors, she would be willing to pay me. And I went back, right, because I had so many of these calls before. And I thought about every single person that I came across. And I remember some of these people, they were so excited because they thought I was a chiropractor. And it made so much sense what she said then. Oh shit, they actually need more chiropractors. But yeah, that's basically how I went. I felt, and then I started actually a profitable business a few weeks later because now I knew that business was all about solving problems.
Wow, 1 year is like a really long time. I don't know, to go through all that. How did you kind of keep yourself motivated at that time to keep going?
Well, I didn't want to be broke. I just don't
Fair,
listen.
fair enough.
I didn't want to be broke. Like I
Yeah,
really didn't want to be. I was like, I didn't want to be. I was broke, so I didn't want to be broke.
yeah,
I needed to, I felt like I needed to build something for myself to protect my future. I didn't want to
yeah,
work the average job. At the time I was working the job and I hated the job as well. I didn't want to do any of the average stuff, right? I wanted to own my life. I wanted to be able to travel. I wanted to do the thing that I am doing now, like own business and stuff like that. And that's what kept me going,
yeah.
was the bright future that I could potentially have if I just kept on coming back to the fight day after day. There is nothing more. There is no, oh, I had to pay my bills. None of that. It was literally, I didn't want to be broke for another day. so, so that kept me going.
I mean, like looking back on it, you did learn like a really valuable lesson that you've like taken into all of your businesses now. And kind of looking around at some of the people that I see also starting their own business, they kind of have the same problem. Like they have an offer that they're trying to give to the people that they're targeting.
Mhm.
But most of the time they're not talking to them to figure out like, is this something they actually need?
I mean, it's so funny that you're saying that because I did the same mistake. I
Yeah.
literally went there out there thinking that these people, they needed an SMMA service. I literally thought that people wanted more clients. But by the end, I realized that it wasn't about client. It was about a specific problem that they all had that they were willing to
Yeah.
pay. And once I figured that out, I realized that I could literally tap into any market and make money as long as I wanted to solve the problem for those people. So, which is why I never actually went ahead with the chiropractic thing because I realized when I realized that, I was like, I don't have to do this, which is funny because this, bro. It's like you have spoken to people, I believe, that they tell you all the time, like they just want to get out of the rat race. But they don't necessarily want to do SMMA. Some of them don't want to do copyright. They don't want to do any of this. They want to do something that it feels meaningful to them. And I
Yeah,
was at that stage as
definitely.
well. Like I wanted to do something meaningful to me while making some money, but I didn't know how. But once I figured out, man, it was a go time. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, actually, what are some of the problems that these people have, when they're trying to build a business?
That's a very, very good question. What I realize is that most people, they have like up to 6 problems. The very first problem is mindset. The next problem is lack of resources, like no money, no capital. That's what they say. Then the lack of experience, which is another thing that they blame. And then not having the idea / niche, And then when they actually try the business because they have no systems, they don't know how to recruit, how to systematize. Guess what? That's another reason why they don't make it. Yeah, they don't know how to do any of this, right? So what I found out is the mindset tends to be like the most common problem. When people don't have the mindset, they blame, oh, I can't do this, I don't know. Like they just blame the mindset. They say I procrastinate, I don't know if I can do this. Like they just blame it. But if they happen to have the mindset, what I came to realize is they blame the lack of money, the capital. Like they say, I really want to do it. I will do whatever it takes. I'll work for free, but I don't have the money now. So again, they don't know how to become resourceful and they blame that. But if they happen to have both, the mindset and the resources, the capital to actually make something, they blame the experience. You probably have seen this before. Like they literally say, oh, I don't know because I still need to know about sales, or I need to know about how to get more clients or marketing. Like the specific skill, that's the thing that they blame. Oh, I don't have that. I'm not comfortable. Therefore, they don't start anything profitable at all, right? But if they happen to have the mindset, the experience, the resource, they happen to have all of those. Now they blame the niche or the idea. It's like they think that they're just gonna stumble into an idea or niche that is just gonna be like, yeah, I can do this now. What they don't realize is that they just got too comfortable on the job and they're not willing to elevate the game. Therefore, now they blame the idea or they don't have the courage to do it. And they tend to have all the four, which is mindset, capital, experience, and niche and idea. Now they actually tried something, but because they don't know how to build systems around the business, the product, service, like if they don't know how to build the systems, how to recruit, delegate, now they find themselves working so many hours and hating what they do and they give up. So they literally close the business down and they say to themselves, this is too hard. I didn't want this. The funny thing is they actually want it, but they didn't know how to implement systems in place in a way that the business would actually be running on automatic mode, right? It's like a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant, you have all these systems in place so they can run smoothly. You have the bartender, you have the waitress, you have the chef. Everything is moving smoothly. The owner of the business, he may not even be there. He's got the time, but he's taking the time to build the system. Most people that they go to business first time, second, or even third time, they don't know how to do such a thing. And that tends to be the problem why they fail. Does it make sense, by the way?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I was just thinking like they're so close, you know. When they get to like the systems and then just to give up there. It's interesting how if you have one, you're kind of like missing the other, or you're finding a reason not to start the business. Almost like they're afraid kind of to take the next step.
Yeah, man, 100%. Like the funny thing is, like the guys had they tried the business and then they fell. Like they actually make it work and they fail. It's literally because they don't know how to build systems. That's it. And they are already there. They're already like they surpass all the other people that have no capital, no experience. Like the idea, they surpass all those people. But it's like that last bit of knowledge that they don't have, like literally crumbles them down and they have to go back and they go back to the unhappiness of having a job. And it's not like they actually want to work. They don't know what to do. They don't know what the roadmap looks like for them, they say.
When it comes to all of these like different problems that you see people having, how do you kind of help them overcome them, like depending on where they are and
So that's a very intelligent question they just asked. I mean, so what we have something that we call the three ladders, which is basically a system, a guiding principle that allows you to understand your financial situation alongside the cash flow and capital. It helps you understand what needs to be done to achieve a specific level of income in your life. For example, how do you go from completely broke to a wealthy state? And like I said, it doesn't just help you understand the current situation financially, but it enables you to understand the entire mechanism of what you need to do to get to the next stage. So what we do, once we gather the data from you, we assess your current situation, then we place you on the ladder and we are able to identify what the next stage for you actually looks like. And that's how we create a specific roadmap for you according to your situation, because situationship is a thing. If you're currently working a day job and you want to achieve financial freedom, you must first replace your income. In fact, let me explain to you how the ladder actually looks like. So we have inactive income, then we have active income, and then we have replacing income, financially free, and then steady rich. The list goes on, right? If you're currently working a day job, you're inactive income. You're getting paid to go work for somebody else, right? And you want to replace your income so you no longer have to keep on working, right? The only way to do that is just to achieve the replacing income status first. And to do that, there's a specific roadmap that needs to be created for you so that you can achieve that goal. Your goal shouldn't be becoming financially free. free yet. Why? Because you don't even know the service they need to provide or stuff like that. Get to the state that they're financially free. Because financially free is all about building systems. So I'll give you an example. People who actually already happen to have a business, but they don't have systems, they don't achieve financial freedom. But the people who build the systems, they have a business, the entire mechanism, they achieve financial freedom. They get the time back, they get the life back, they get to do more of the things that they want to do because they have people working for them, with them. But when you replace your income, it's like you became a self-employed, and this is a temporary situation until you build the entire business mechanism that allows you to achieve freedom. But guess what? You gotta do this first before you can do that next first. And if you're already here, then you gotta do whatever it takes now to get to here. But all of these people are two completely different people. And so that's basically what we do. We take you in, we analyze and we assess and we put you in the ladders. And then we create a specific roadmap that works really well for you, you know? And that roadmap also includes the person that you must become in order to achieve the next stage of your life. We're talking about habits, strengths, skills, all the things that makes your character, create your character, you know? Because your character, you get results based on your character and your habits.
Like everyone that comes to you is very different. How do you kind of figure out what are their like strengths, weaknesses, and if like the business that they would like to start
So, I mean,
would kind of match with them too?
That's a good question. I mean, one of the things that we make sure that we nail down on the program is actually teaching them how to ask better quality questions, and we do that by giving them access to one of our tools, which is called the thinking equation, that allows them to get to the conclusion by themselves. Like a lot of people don't know how to ask great questions, right? But that's because they have never practiced to do so. So we give them the tools so they can come to the conclusion by themselves, whether they procrastinate, whether it's building a system, whatever it is, we give them access to that tool and they can come to the conclusion by themselves. And all I do is I literally just help them out, figure out some of the answers together sometimes, but most times they do pretty well by themselves.
So I know like a little bit about Patrick, Andrea, Sicelo, some of the people that you've been helping. What have you, done with them so far?
So in Andreia, we literally just assess a situation and then we were able to replace her income, right? In fact, I'll let her speak for herself.
When I look at for Ricardo's help, I had just lost my job. In better words, I was fired because of a misunderstanding. I didn't know what to do. Ricardo helped me find out what I really like to do, and I was able to help other people, in this case, females. In my first month, I had only 3 clients. In my second month, by doing an outreach, I was able to get 28 clients. At this moment, I have 36 clients. I went from being lost in life to find my path.
Sicelo, the same thing. Sicelo is a great student. He's studying engineering, and he just wanted to figure out what can he do after he finishes uni. He wanted to figure out how to go into business straight away after he complete uni. People who do the robotic engineering uni is basically the guys who kind of create the AI machines and stuff like that. And that's the thing that he wanted to do. So we just created the roadmap for him as well. I'll just let him speak again.
So the thinking equation for me is probably like my favorite aspect that I've learned so far. Simply being the fact that 1, I think it's the most easy to implement. It's the most like practical. But 2 is that the reason I also like it is because you can use it in any sort of problem. So it's not just business related. You can use it in personal life problems. You can use it in everything. And basically what it is that it's in a way to approach things that gets you from step 1 to like the end step, where you have a clear process about how you're going to fix a certain problem or how you're going to address whatever issue it is that you're facing. And so when you use the thinking equation, what it really does nicely is it helps you to break down what's actually going on. So when you're looking at an issue, it's very easy to break down like, what is the actual problem that I'm trying to solve? Where am I stuck and where can I go about fixing things? So it's almost like a step-by-step process of fixing issues that you have. So it's interesting because obviously I've had the thinking equation to help me take more action, but at the same time I've also like gone into a way of creating a routine that allows me to stay like consistent and stay focused on certain things. So there's still going to be a degree of procrastination, but it's not as extensive because there's a plan. And the interesting thing as well is that when you really look at it and you look at like where you put your time, you realize that a lot of procrastination doesn't really stem from like time wasting, more so fear. So you kind of rationalize to yourself as to why you shouldn't be doing something. And that's kind of where like the procrastination stemmed from for me. So once I started to address the whole fear aspect about why I was afraid to do certain things, and why I was indulging in certain things. It allows me to focus on like what's actually the actual real issue, which was the fear aspect. And so in an ability to like limit fear, I've become more proactive, and in doing so, there's less procrastination. The only like rigorous thing is like, because of school and things like that, sometimes my schedule may change because some things in like the school schedule change, so that can impact certain things. But it's not as bad as previous year as well. So it's a lot more productive now than a year ago.
And then we also happen to have part you struggle with thinking and stuff like that. You used to have a lot of difficulty when it came to that at the beginning. And we just improve on how we thought about things. And now it is going to do other projects. And again, I'll just let him speak for himself.
But I think what this program shows is like it breaks business down into such little details that like no matter what no matter what limiting beliefs you might have had in the past about business, like the knowledge ladder accelerator, so far it's broke down things in such a way that you realize like, yo, like there's actually like a formula to this. Like the reason, like you start seeing why people fail in business, and I think that's important because like one thing that like people have said to me before at work and stuff is like, oh, a lot of people start business and fail. What makes you think that you'll be any different? But what they don't realize is, yeah, they might have failed, but there's a reason for that. And the knowledge ladder accelerator explains why businesses fail. And once you understand that, then it's like it gives you a lot of clarity, because now we know what it is you need to do to ensure that you're not gonna suffer the same fate. And I think that in and of itself gives you confidence, because now we know like no matter what happens, like if you use the war concept of building business, like you just know that if you keep going on, eventually you're gonna find what it is you need to do, and you know what not to do, because because it has explained why certain way of doing things fails. And so back to your question, what problem I think it solves? I think it solves it. It gives people clarity on what business is and have to create a successful business.
And then we also happen to have Tina, who recently joined us, and she had no idea what she needed to do. She had literally nothing. She tried so many different things. But again, I'm just gonna let her talk what experience looks like.
Because we just had our talk, and I guess within that talk, we kind of just broke down a little bit more about like the program, and I guess just being very thankful and amazed that the program got me to clarity faster than anything else. I have tried different programs, and so a lot of it was like the basis was trying to get more money, and from that, it was just I joined it, paid the money, but it was more of like there was still anxiety there of like, okay, so like, is this something that I can do long term? Is this something I really care to do? And so from that, that anxiety was still there. Just the not having clarity, not having a sense of like, this is something I understand and can do. And then just joining this program has been that. Like at the beginning, I was like still not sure about it, and having that anxiety of like, okay, so how long is this going to last for me, and see what benefits or what could benefit me. And so just from the first two videos, that was like, like it got more clarity than I ever did ever like in my life. And so and that's when that idea came to create a podcast. And so and then of course from that, doing that and working on that, day to day has been like exciting, because it's like I know what I'm going to do now, and then like it's on my mind every day to like work on it. And so that was never ever a thing for me. So just having that sense of knowing where I'm going is like, so it's a relief, and it's exciting. That's pretty much where I'm at. So just really grateful to be in the place I am in now. So yeah, and then I also wanted to share, because I also want to put that out, that from like our session, it was like younger people need this, like people in high school. Like, so I used to work as an educational assistant in a school system, and so like a lot of times we're asking them like, what are you going to do like after high school? And it's always this pressure of like, if they don't know, then they don't know, right? They're too scared to say that they don't know, so they come up with an answer to like, I guess, alleviate our like worries about them. And so like myself too, like I didn't know what I was going to do. Like there were so many things like I wanted to do, but I didn't have a clear plan of what I wanted to do. So like I was sharing, like that should be shared with like young people, so that they can already start thinking like, hey, is this really something I want to do? Not like someone else pressuring them to do it. You know, like it's something that I want to work towards. And I think if I had that when I was younger, then that would have been something I could work on, instead of like feeling stuck. That overthinking gets me on that loop, like we were talking about, and that it gets me just stuck and frozen in one place. And that was what my problem was. I was just stuck, feeling stuck all the time. And so like I'm just grateful that I found this, and like that has been like my prayer, like to find something that I wanted to do, that I could do, and then be like proud of what I was working on. So,
and now we have Kurvin. We have been mentoring for some time now. It took him a while, longer than I was expecting, but better later than never, right? And this is the results that we got as well for him.
It's shifting the perspective from niche and just making money to solving problems, to understanding and solving problems. Not just the problem itself, but the people associated with the problem. How much pain is it causing them? How they think about it? What kind of solutions would be beneficial? Why would they be beneficial? How it would work? And how much are they willing to invest into the solutions? Like just thinking about it from a problems solving perspective, because once you can shift from it that way, you can almost guarantee success. Because people want problem solved. People want problem solved. So if you can find a valuable problem to solve and you can solve it, people will pay you, like period. So it's like that principle is now almost like a governing principle, along with the market research side of things, which is data. That's how you find the problems. So those are the big key. Like I wasn't even, when I've been doing this whole time, or trying to, I was never thinking about data. I was never thinking about understanding my clients. I was thinking about my ideas and thinking they should work. Why are they not working? But you guys have, and the process that you guys supported me through has shown me the value of viewing things from a problem perspective, and also understanding the people who have those problems, so that you know how to serve them and support them better. I think everything falls in line after that, because that's how you build your sales. That's how you build your marketing. It's understanding the problem and understanding the people. And bro, that's how you get the money. And then you spend the money to fix the problems. You know what I mean? Like that's where people start the opposite. They start with the solution and then they invest so much in the solution, but they don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to get people to talk to, and they don't know how to get the money from the people. But if you go to the people first, then they tell you the problems, and then they pay you to solve them, and then you go take that money to solve them. And it's like, but yeah, so it's been a massive paradigm shift. Even now, like talking about it, it's just cementing it harder and harder and harder. So yeah, those two are the biggest takeaways is the problems, looking at things as a problem solving exercise, and market research has been hella valuable and important.
The beautiful thing about helping all of these people and hearing them talk about how they've been able to overcome a lot of the problems. All of these people, they were able to achieve all these outcomes by themselves. I was just literally the guy kind of helping them in the way. And there is no greater enjoyment than giving people the skill where they can figure out the answers by themselves. Imagine if you just have the skill to figure out how to do something. Wouldn't that be much better? Wouldn't you feel comfortable in your own skin? Probably would, because you know that you're just maybe a couple of weeks away from knowing the information that you need to overcome your current situation so that you can create another reality.
Yeah, it's like fascinating how you do all of this and also how different their ideas are. Like they're coming from such different places and they're building something that's really meaningful to them. But I'm guessing like some of the people listening to this are kind of wondering how might they be able to do something like this?
I mean, they can just contact you. I'm joking. I mean, they have two options. I mean, if you guys are watching this, the option number one, you can truly do it by yourself. You can try all this stuff by yourself. Like it's gonna probably take you a few years to do. Like you're gonna make some of your mistakes. Like everybody's gonna make mistakes, and it's gonna probably slow you down from living the life that you've always wanted to live. And I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be super expensive. It was expensive for me when I began, like when I didn't know stuff, because you know you don't spend time with family members, you don't spend that quality time with the people that you love, and it's painful. Especially when you tell them that you know you're gonna go away and achieve these goals, and then you don't achieve it within the time frame that you said that you were going to achieve. It kills you. It kills you mentally, physically, it kills you in every single way. And sometimes you are going to think of giving up if the option is to go by yourself, right? But then you also have option number two, which is we can do it together. It's going to be faster because a lot of the mistakes that you are going to make, I've already done it. I've already systematized. I've created process so that you don't have to do those mistakes yourself. It's going to be less mistakes because you're going to get to achieve your goals a lot faster. And then it's going to be cheaper. You make less mistakes, it's cheaper. You know, you get to achieve the goals that you want. You don't have to go and join a bunch of different programs or trying to figure out the niche or how to sell or how to do copywriting, you name it. And it's going to be fun. Like, it's going to be fun because you're going to be around people who are doing the same thing as you. People who have the same mindset, who are trying to achieve the same goals. Some of them have already achieved the goals. But it's going to be a whole different community of entrepreneurs who know how to think, who know how to ask questions. But most important, they know how to create a new reality every time they want. And there is nothing better than being around people who are striving to achieving their goals every single day. Nothing better. And this is the option that you have by working with us.
Oh, I mean, like, other than saving time, I think being surrounded by other entrepreneurs is actually like really important. Like you mentioned, you know, how to ask the questions and the right mindset. And it reminds me of a quote by Jim Rohn, where he says, like, you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. But if I wanted to start working with you right now, what are some of the steps that you would take me through?
If we are talking about in terms of actions, results, and speed, this is what it's going to look like working with us. We have phase 1 all the way to phase 7. Phase 1 is a sampling of the problem. We talk to the market and then we define the niche and the offer. You know, it's where we come up with the ideas or what is the product that we're going to sell to the people and why we're going to sell it to the people. And then we define what it looks like being productive for us and what is the routine of each phase of business creation. For every single task that you must do in business, whether it is in market research, when you're doing product development, the routine is a bit different. Even when you're building the system, it's a little bit different. And we do that in phase 2. And then we have phase 3, where we talk about goals and self-recreation. It's where we kind of come in with you, we give you a hug, and we create a personalized roadmap so that you can achieve your goal. This is where you create a new person. And then we define the sales method and proof of concept. And in phase 4, which is where we close my client, and at the same time we increase the proof of concept. There's 2 proof of concepts. There is the first time that you close clients because people, they are willing to pay you because you're solving something, right? But then the second proof of concept is basically when you got a product and it's working really well. The better it works, the more you have proof of concept out. You have something really good going on. And then you have phase 5, which is the creation of marketing that stimulates your avatar. We want to call these guys out. If they suffer, you know, we want to call them out. It's like the NHS in the UK. Like when someone is sick, where do they go? To the NHS? NHS says, come to the hospital if you're sick. If they have a problem, we want to call them out. And we do that in phase 5. And then we have phase 6, where we systematize the business process and we delegate. So this is basically where we build the system in a way that the business can be run automatic, so you don't have to struggle with freedom and stuff like that. And then we have phase 7, which is the last phase, where we optimize the business process to enter the flow state that you desire. This is where everything is just running very smoothly. Just like I think like the restaurant that I said before. You want to have a restaurant where everything is just running automatically, very smoothly. And this is what it looks like working with us.
Wow, so you literally take them up from the very beginning until like the whole business is fully optimized. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people out there that are doing something like this. Like what you guys are doing is very unique. But I also feel like it takes like a special kind of person to do something like this. I mean, what kind of people usually end up working with you?
So we have like 4 group of people. We have the people who have no idea, no experience, no capital, and they want to build something meaningful and profitable for them that gives them ownership, right? This is the people which don't know what is the niche. Like they don't know nothing, literally. They have no money, and then we have the people who are currently working a day job, a 9 to 5, any kind of job, because a job is a job at the end of the day, or students, or people who are working as self-employed, and they want to become profitable as business owners. They have a salary, but they don't want just that. They want more than that. They want to, again, have something meaningful for them. And then we have people who already have something going on, but are still working a day job because they haven't been able to even replace the income. They don't know how to. They're like running around trying to figure all this thing out. And then we have the people who already have the business going on. They have been able to replace the income, but they are working so many hours through the day. It is getting to the point where they are tired. They have no systems in place. We literally come in and we help them and we simplify everything for them and we put systems in place so they can have the freedom that they desire. At the end of the day, all of those people, all they want is to have freedom. They want to have clarity on what needs to be done to attain that. They want to live a better lifestyle and have more money. That's all they want. And that's exactly what we do for them.
Yeah, I know I'm not the only one who's felt trapped like in a 9 to 5 before.
Mhm.
But I feel like I have so much more questions to ask you. The thing I guess everyone out there is really wondering is how can they get a chance to talk to you?
If they don't have a core book to me yet, they are listening to this and they relate to everything that I just said, and they actually want to take the next step to gaining the knowledge, the experience, and ideas so that they can evolve from having the salary cut where they feel trapped, where like they have no control over the time, they have no holidays. In fact, no ownership. No ownership means again no control over the situation. But what they actually want is they want to have some ownership. They want to have control. They gives them the freedom and the most important, gives them the ability to create moments with the loved ones. I'm hoping to have a conversation. I mean, if you already have a cool book with us, all you can do right now is just sit, grab a pen, paper, relax, because I truly believe that this is going to be the best 45 minutes conversation that you are going to have for the rest of the year. But if you don't, then my team has set aside 45 minutes for the next 4 to 5 days where we can talk and see if we can even help. And we are going to do this over Zoom or Google Meets, like whatever works best for you. Then we are going to diagnose your current situation, because only then we can see if the model that we currently are using can actually work for you. Sometimes it does work and sometimes it doesn't. But we are always going to be completely transparent with you about that. Only then we can start creating a specific roadmap with action plan to take you from your current situation, your job, to a fully systematized, profitable business that is generating the income that you desire quickly. I truly believe that this is going to be the most valuable 45 minutes conversation that you're going to have for the rest of the year. I'm just going to be waiting for you guys. So Rose, thank you very much for this call. I truly appreciate the questions. I know you have been working with me for not too long, but it's been fun.
Yeah, no, it's been really fun and been nice to get to know more about you too. I believe that everyone, listening has learned a lot of things too. So yeah, thank you for your time.